Okay, IT professionals, don't look behind me. I'm going to show this picture for everybody else, IT professionals. Maybe you can just hear the description of it because it's probably going to be too much even there. But I'm going to talk to you about the unexciting life of a game developer in 2 days of my life, and then the longest day ever at Valve. They're connected in a horrible way. But so when we had our build servers in the office and then had to move them home, I moved them into my house and I put them here. If you notice, that is a folding table that the 3 servers are sitting on, because I think folding tables are the best, sturdiest tables you could ever possibly put three servers on. At least they're not on the floor, because that's the water heater behind there that could explode. So that's where they are. But let me explain. Right, so those are the build servers. In March, we shut them down because we weren't using them, because we were doing updates in other ways. And there was a horrible exploit that came out for the software that we use, and so I shut them down. And then we're like, hey, we're doing this thing with the community where the community can actually update the game, the core game that everybody can play and keep it cross-platform and all of that. And so that we need to build servers back up. So I started them back up and they didn't go back on because there were spiders nesting in them. I had to clean the spiders out. At least it wasn't rats. It could have been rats. There used to be rats there. All right. And so I cleaned that up, and there's a bunch of software updates, and it just took forever to get going. That was a whole day. That's exciting game dev day, right? If you ever wonder why I play like Balatro or Slay the Spire so much, it's because you have this downtime. You do something and you're like, hey, I gotta wait for 10 minutes. But that's not all. So then we run it. And we update the software, and like it's all good. We run it and it works. Hey! And so what a build server is it's like if you ever run something in Unity or Unreal and you click in the editor and you're like, hey, I'm running in the editor, but it's like really slow and not performant. It's because it's not fully baked, right? And you haven't baked all the assets, the code for all the different platforms, and all of that. And so that's what these do. And it takes like an hour. And so you offload it, and it's a swarm. It's 3 computers all working together now too, because one of them had a dead drive, and that took another like half a day to figure out why that one wasn't connecting. But so it does all of this, and what it does is it sits there and it looks at your Perforce, which is your source control. If you are a single dev, use source control. I don't care. Dropbox is not source control. Dropbox is backups. It's a difference. Use source control. And so it sucks everything in from source control, whatever branch you point it to, and then it builds it out and bakes everything, and then it uploads it to Steam. And Steam has depots, but that's a fancy word for it. Here's a file and you have a name on it. And so this is the daily playtest branch we wanted to get going. And that's the messy branch. It's got like all this slop in it, all this stuff you're experimenting and trying. And you don't want to put that public to everybody, so it's password protected to be able to play that branch, but there you go. There it is. And so we went to go run it, and it was fine. Then the one of the people from the community tried to go run it, and it failed. And I'm like, those dumbasses, what are they doing? Well, that was us. What happened was the second time we ran it, Steam said, hey, SteamGuard's needed. Now, like, the passwords and all of this stuff's encrypted on there, and it's like one way, and we can't see it. So we don't know what the password is. I can't just log into the account and go through SteamGuard. So what I have to do is I have to get the thing to run, get the SteamGuard email. And so first I have to track down, where does that email go? It doesn't go to an email that I thought. And I have to go, essentially wait. First I'll have to map that to an email that I can see. And then I have to wait. When I get that, then I'm going to enter the SteamGuard. But now where do I enter the SteamGuard? I first thought, well, it's going to be on the main machine because that's the machine that must talk to Steam. No, it's not. This is like all set up like 4 years ago. Person's long gone. This has been working, so I haven't had to learn it. And so then I'm like, oh, it must be the other machine because the other machine's not working. And so, no, it's not part of it. So if you don't know Steam has Steam CMD. That is like the command line for Steam. And so you run that. And I would think, well, it's the one in the Perforce. That's the one that gets downloaded and gets updated. No. Oh, so it's this other one that's on the D drive. I'll just run that one and do it there. No. It's on the one on the C drive that's unconnected and has nothing to do with anything. I don't know why they set it up that way. But there it is. And so then we also realize we do need to have the password. And so what I have to do is in Steam CMD log in, get it to prompt me to ask for the code, and then I can do the two-factor authentication. We don't have the password, so we have to kind of hack it where it pipes the password out, and then we capture it, and then we send it back. Where do we get it running? But we get it running, and so it's running. And so, like all of that process, right, is like waiting for the Steam code to fail. Like, it doesn't fail in the beginning of it. It fails 7 minutes in, so every time you're going to test it, and we tested it like 7 times, it's 7 minutes. You sit there and wait, and like you're playing Slay the Spire, and you're like, oh, email came, now I'm going to go try it, right? It's a pain in the ass, but it's working. I know, life's not hard. It's a pretty easy job. But still, it's a pain in the ass. It's like 2 days of just to get the builds back up and running. But that's good. They're back up and running. And so we have that going. And so we will be talking about that. I'm going to do a big update about where we are with the anacrusis and what's going on there. But so now, how does this have anything to do with my longest day ever at Valve? Well, so I'm in rush. So we're working on the game, right? And we're getting near release. And before release, we have to go to certification with Xbox, which means we have to send them a specific build that says this is what you're going to put on the disc. And I go to Moscow the week ahead of time because doing some press there. We have a new publisher. The Moscow thing was really weird, and I was really, really sick. I was feverish, sweaty. Oh my God, the story's there. All right, but so I get through that, and I come home, and I'm just not sleeping. I'm like in this weird state, and ends up we can't fit on the disc. So one of the engineers figures out an entire new file system. If you ever wonder why the file system on Left 4 Dead is different, it's because it couldn't fit on the DVD. So he figured out some other way to pack it and store it, and it was all good. All right, but so we still have some bugs, and we're going at it, and it's like one of those things, like I just wake up early, and I'm at Valve really early, and there's just people 24/7 testing and there and around, and so we're like, tomorrow, 8 a.m., we got to get it out, we got to get it out, we got to get it out. And we're like, okay. And now that build process for the Source engine at the time was like a 2-hour process. Once it kicked off, that was it. You couldn't do anything for 2 hours. But you do like a sloppy, ugly build in the meantime. So we do these sloppy, ugly builds and then test, and like we're still trying to find some stuff. Now, there's a thing where the map just kept reloading, and like it loads 3 times in Left 4 Dead 1. Don't ask. And one of the engineers has got pissed. He's like, that's stupid. I'm going to make it where it does it twice. And it's like 3 a.m. And he's like, oh no, I have the fix for this. This is simple. We're going to do this. And it makes the players disappear. Just randomly, one of the players will disappear. Who knows why? But like, put it back. Put it back. We can ship with that. It loads. If you ever wonder why the map loads so slow and why we had to like restart from 0 and for Left 4 Dead 2 and for a lot of things, this is one of the reasons, right? So we're about to go do that. But at 4 a.m., the automatic build kicks off. So whatever we thought we were going to get done by 5, we are down. And so they stop it. They stop it. They stop it. They stop the automatic build. But like whole thing takes like an hour just to stop it and fix it. And like, oh, this is a mess. This is a mess. And so we kick off the build, I want to say like at 5 a.m. And it goes through the whole thing. And it's not going to be ready till like 6:30. So we're all like trying to sleep. I'm sleeping on Gabe's couch in his office back when he had an office. I think I remember he came in really early that day, and I woke up and I was like, oh, hey, sorry. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, you know, that's fine. But it's like a big day, right? Because we're trying to get this out to there, and we finally do. And that build's good. We test it, and it's good. I set an alarm. Then as soon as I knew when our cert date was for Left 4 Dead 2, I set an alarm and said, stop the auto build process, because don't do that again. But I ended up working, it was like 30 hours from start to finish that day by the time I left, even though I napped in between time. You know, napping on a couch is not the same. And so when I'm driving home, all of a sudden, I just had that moment of like, I'm in a car. How'd I get here? This is bad. This is really bad. And yeah, it was kind of scary driving the rest of the way home. And then in classic fashion, we got all excited. We got that out. We fixed the bugs along the way, even though we're a month ahead of time, but they're making discs and all this. And the Steam version could be last minute. And then, of course, we have to crunch for the Steam version because we all take it easy for a week and then have to come back and fix stuff there and whatever. It got out. It was fine. It worked out. But yeah, that was not a good night of sleep. So turn off automatic builds when you're getting your shipping is a tip.